And the Hoosiers will get us started with the opening kickoff. Here's the return from inside his 10. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. So Wake Forest offense will get the first swing of the game. Here he comes, and obviously defense is always going to be aware of a quarterback, but boy, he finds a way to put defenses on their heels all the time, David.
I mean, what can't he do? He's got the weapons, he's got the confidence, he's got the experience. Jesse, these kind of guys are so hard to defend.
You're right. They'd better be able to find a way to get pressure on him, because if they don't, this is going to be a long day.
Nice move there. Get some work done there. Pick up a 4 to the 22. The margin for error is so small in this conference. It's really imperative to get off to a good start in Big Ten play.
Especially, Reese, since you're adding so much talent now to this conference. But, yeah, year in and year out, you know the mainstays in this conference, but there's always some surprises, and I'll be interested to see how everybody starts off this season. Listen, this is your first opportunity, Palmer, in conference play, in a major conference, obviously in the Big Ten, to make your first statement.
And it's going to be taxing all season long for these players. Physically, obviously, and you expect that in the Big Ten Conference. But now adding all those West Coast teams, these guys are going to be flying back and forth across the country a lot this year. They have to get off to a fast start today. That's what makes this game so critical.
Comes out throwing on first down. Finds the tight end. Sometimes people say, if you're good enough, what's the big deal about going on the road? Well, if you're not careful, you might find out in a spot like this one, guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is a hostile environment, and you know you're going to be getting the opponent's A-game for this one. They've circled this one all off-season, so they better be ready to bring it today, David.
And the hardest thing to do in college football is to go on the road. Everything about it changes, and you want to shut this crowd up early. You don't want to give them belief, because if it starts to build throughout the game, look out.
The marker is at the 35, and they need to get it there to convert third down. Still looking, on the move. And he just throws it away. That is not what you're looking for on third down. Fourth down coming up.
Third and short in college football today, you see so much more pass than you used to. The offense stays aggressive, and I think they stay aggressive because they know they're in field goal range. They got that 3 in their back pocket.
Got it past the marker. Turns out to be an easy conversion for this offense as they move the chains on fourth down.
That's a great example of the receiver knowing exactly where the first down marker is. He got the depth he needed to get, so once he was able to make the catch, he already knew he had it, and now a fresh set of downs.
The Demon Deacons have it with a 1st and 10. They're looking to pass from the red zone. It's complete to the right. They go up top to get it down to the 5-yard line as they try to pay off this drive.
And a great job by the QB finding the running back, getting the football where he can do some damage after the catch, and most importantly, get the first down.
Turning to the running game on 1st and goal. He's got it down to the 1-yard line right on the doorstep of Pater. Now on 2nd and goal. Tries again to get it in. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Wake.
You love as a head coach to watch your offense take the field and establish a rhythm and consistency the way they did there. Everything they dialed up was working to perfection. They go 10 plays on the opening drive and cap it off with a touchdown.
And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. So Indiana's offense will get the ball for the first time. And they seem to believe that they can take big plays away and man coverage by just locking him up in this matchup, David.
And it's hard to lock down a great wide receiver, but a great defensive back versus a great wide receiver, we got a showdown.
Yeah, let's be honest, David. Most defenses don't have a dude like that at cornerback that could do that in a game like this, but this matchup is unique, and it's going to really determine the outcome of the game.
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
You know when you're playing against a defense of this caliber, you're going to have some sort of balance, right? You can't just drop back and throw it every single play. Nothing going on that last run. They're going to have to find another way to get it going and handing the ball.
They're trying to get to it. He'll pull it down. Crosses the 30. He's got away. And he scoots his way to the first down and then slides to avoid the hit.
Nice job. Nice way to end that play for the QB. He does a really good job scrambling, getting the first down, and getting down. Because defensively, I'm trying to get a lick. Anytime I can hit the quarterback, that is a win.
Just willed his way for a couple out to the 35. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. They'll move the running back to try to force the defense to adjust. Just goes right through the wicket and brings up third down. Man, he will be thinking about that one.
Yeah, and you can tell he was trying to run with that football before he caught it. That slant route, you stick your foot in the ground, cut towards the QB. That's one of those plays where he puts it on the money and you just try to make yards after the catch, but key word being after the catch.
On third and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Brings it down on the right side. He's loose. Slippery slide, find his way and ran away from the crowd into the end zone. Touchdown, Hoosiers!
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, he hits you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy. The connection between quarterback and wide receiver, you can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
The Wake Forest offense returns to the field. Boy, David, they would love to stack another touchdown on top of that last drive.
And this offense did such a good job on the last drive. Everything in rhythm, moved the ball down the field, didn't make those mistakes, Jesse, and they need to do it again on this one.
Yeah, you're right. They had the defense on their heels. You wonder what sort of communication was going on that sideline. What sort of changes were they able to make because they got to stop the bleeding right now.
Brought down to the ground, but he has enough for the first down.
And here we go. If you're an offense, you got to get that ground game going so you can have some balance, and then you give it to your quarterback, Palmer, and let him make some plays down the field later on.
Yeah, exactly. And coming into this game, this offense knew they were going to have to some way, somehow, at least establish a semblance of a running game for exactly what you just said. You got to be able to use play-action pass later in this game to get some explosive plays down the field, and it's a play like that we just saw, which can help them get that.
And the defense stops him just short of the first down. Maybe needed a few more chain links to move the sticks.
You know, runs like this oftentimes are like a boxer in a boxing match. Obviously, it's not a knockout punch, but these are body blows. And as the game goes on, these small gains are going to turn into longer runs.
And he gets it done on third down. They move the chains, and they'll mark it at the 44.
Been really impressed watching this offense this year and how good they are on third down. The reason they're so efficient, they don't have penalties, they keep these third downs manageable, and they've got a special talent at running back that can find his way to the sticks.
We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. And the Demon Deacons are on the move. He's looking to throw. Coming after him. He's going to take off. Able to get just a few before sliding to avoid the hit.
Defense is all about creating negative plays, and he does a really good job at the quarterback spot of not taking sacks. Like, that's a great job. He wants to throw the football. The clock goes off. He takes off and gets a positive gain.
He lets one fly deep. And that pass picked off. Trying to take it back. A dangerous cover man and a dangerous return man after the pick as he gets it all the way to the 44-yard line. Indiana has the ball back, and the Hoosier offense comes out ready to go. This could be a real turning point in the game. They scored a touchdown. They got to stop. Pressure is effective from the defense. They knock him down just behind the midfield stripe at the 48.
How nice is it as a defense when you can drop 7 guys in a coverage, only rush 4, and still get home. That makes you feel good if you're the D coordinator.
Linebackers trying to create some confusion. From the gun, give on the inside. Really nice stop there from this senior leader. A 3rd and long coming up here. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. Trying to make magic with his feet. Really nice job to convert that 3rd down, and they've got it at the 33.
Man, that's so frustrating. It happens so fast. He just pulls it down. It looks like pass. He pulls it down, and he's gone. Just like that, chewing up yards. So much speed, so hard to stop.
Here's the handoff. They get him stopped after a pickup of 5 to the 28.
I like this guy as a running back because he can run between the tackles and he can also go outside. He can really do it all.
Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Off the bootleg, looking to fire. Fires to the big fella. They get him on the ground after he gets enough to move the sticks.
Well, they pick up the first against zone coverage. I think a big part of this for young quarterbacks out there is if you're going to be throwing into zone coverage, you got to throw on time. You can't stare down receivers because the entire defense has their eyes on you, so you can't telegraph where the ball's going. You've got to hold it to the very last.
He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Indiana.
One of the areas they really focused on for this receiver in the offseason was we need you to make more plays for us in the end zone. When we're taking shots, we need you to be able to step up and make tough catches. David, what a grab right there.
And I think a lot of that has to do with trusting your guy, knowing where he's going to be, knowing when he's going to sit down, when he's not, so being on the same page, and then having a guy that can go get it. Just when the ball is near him, he's going to make the play, just like he did right there for 6 points.
And they'll get off one more play before the end of the quarter. They'll throw it on 1st down. Fires to the wideout. Wide open downfield. Hit the gas, kid. Wide open ahead. And he ran away from the defense to take it in. Touchdown, Damon Deeks.
Quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge. And also the anticipation, the timing. To be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone, that was a nice job by the quarterback.
Yeah, it's critical, Dave. And listen, a lot of times touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the coverage, hit the open guy, and let him do the rest.
They fought to a standstill in the 1st. Let's see who gets the edge early in the 2nd. After that latest answer tied things up, just about set to kick it away again. On the run from inside, and he loses the ball deep in his own end. The kicking team's got it, and they take the ball right back.
Because of the big collisions on kickoff team, you don't see a lot of that in practice. You don't do that because you don't want to get each other hurt. A lot of open field, big collisions, big forced fumble, big momentum play created.
It's going to be important this offensive line is able to get a little bit of push. Just got to give this guy an inch, a little crease, and he can make yards for you.
Pulls it and fires to the left. Touchdown, Wake Forest. And they take it in for 6 more points.
And that's his 2nd receiving touchdown of the game. My man is just finding pay dirt. Tell you what, these are the kind of guys that you continue to feature throughout a game when he can do this kind of damage after he catches the football.
We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
All right, guys, want to update you on a game that went final moments ago. Ole Miss showed its toughness on the road and picked up a crucial victory. And every win counts, don't get me wrong. But the victories outside of the comforts of home can really serve as a springboard. It's one game. You don't want to react too much either way. But I think both teams will leave this one with...
He's got it down the left. And he's brought down after a huge completion. The Hoosiers come to the line in the hurry-up. Try to get the edge with a quick touch pass. You'll take 4 yards on first down every time, 2nd and 6. The run from the shotgun. 1-step wrap, 2-step squeeze. This junior knows how to get him on the ground.
You know, I think a big part of this isn't necessarily scoring a touchdown on that play, but you're just trying to get your offensive line in the rhythm of the game. Let those big fellas get lathered up.
They'll snap it from the gun on 3rd down. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. And the Hoosiers will line up to punt it away.
Got to give the defense credit on that play, taking everything away, forcing the incompletion. Now it's decision time. 4th and short, and you're in field goal range. What do you do here?
Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the offense. Jesse looking to take it down the field for back-to-back touchdowns.
It's really important for them moving forward, too, to have a lot of balance, right? You want to be able to keep this defense guessing, Pollock.
Yeah, and you got me searching for answers after that last drive. You stack another... Their defense's heads are going to be spinning all over the place.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Keep it on the ground. Just working and poking and prodding and finding his way up to the 36.
And as an offense, having success on a run play like that early in the game just opens up all the possibilities of your playbook moving forward. Play action, running the ball, throwing the ball, screens, anything is at your disposal at this point.
And, you know, big chunks like this don't happen unless you commit to the run game. You got to get those big boys up front into the game, understanding I want to knock people off the football, create some holes like you do here for my running back, make the game easy.
Might as well give it to him again. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. That linebacker saw the express lane right to the ball carrier.
And a great job by the defensive line getting some push, making them use their resources on him. Linebacker comes free, boom, and making the backfield for a tackle for a loss.
Pressure coming. And the defense is all over the quarterback, and down he goes.
This is a good sign for this defense. The rate they were going, not touching the quarterback, him already having 2 touchdown passes in the first half, this was not going to be a fun football game to watch. Now they're turning it.
He's looking deep. And the deep shot is complete inside the 35-yard line. And he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
Really nice job working the route and getting himself open, and he was able to locate the football, snag it out of the air, and this guy now has 5 receiving touchdowns.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point pushes the lead to 14. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they finished with a bang, a 71-yard scoring strike. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Indiana sends the offense onto the field. Now we'll get a chance to see if they can answer that last score, trailing by 14, Jesse.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, I feel like offensively, you should go back to what's been working for you in this game. Don't be afraid to dial up plays that you've already had success with, running it and throwing it. It's okay to repeat plays down 14 at this point.
And I would also say, Palmer, kind of understanding that my defense is not playing great, so I know offensively I got to put some good possessions together here, make something happen on this side of the football.
That has got to be demoralizing if you're on defense because they just ran the ball right up the middle, down your throats, and they gashed you.
From the gun, they'll try to impose their will.
You want to talk about making it easy for an offensive coordinator. You pick up a bunch of yards on first down, make that second down really, really manageable. That's a great job by the offense.
Power football with the run. Wrestled down at the 43 after getting 5.
Well, the offense knew what they needed to get that first down, so they dial up the running play, and they get just enough to keep the drive alive.
Running back searching for a hole. And just wedges it ahead a bit before he's brought down.
And those physical runs take a toll. It might not be a big game now, but down the road, third, fourth quarter, late in the ball games, they tend to turn into bigger runs.
Looking to pass on second down. Fires to the tight end. He almost picked up the first down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short. You know, David, this is really what game managing is. Nice pickup on second down to help them on the next play.
Yeah, I think people look at that negative sometimes, finding a quarterback that's a game manager. No, use your brain. Set up good situations. I'm way more successful when I can keep those sticks in a more manageable situation, and I'm not as predictable on a third down.
Wants to throw on first down. Fires into traffic. Intercepted. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception. And the senior just snatched the ball out of the air and gave it back to his offense.
How do you not get excited and out of your seat when you see the big boys making the little boys play? Listen, I know you DBs can do all that running around stuff and catch the football. I can too. I just do it in a sexier, bigger body. Yes, please.
Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the Deacon offense. This offense has really been clicking in the game so far, Jesse.
No doubt. Everything their play caller is dialing up, these guys offensively have been able to go out and execute them.
Yeah, and it's just maintaining the lead. Keep doing what you've been doing. You got a big lead. Let's just keep piling it on until they find an answer.
Second down here, and maybe they've got time to get one more snap off before the 2-minute warning. Pulls and fires complete to the right. They make the stop, but this passing game does some damage, and they move the sticks with the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Quarterback reacting to what the D is showing. Looking to go up top on first down. He's got an open man. Touchdown, Wake! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house. How efficient have they been as they extend this lead here in Week 5? The defense just lost track of it. There's no other explanation. I've got to assume they knew he was in an eligible position.
Or it was just ridiculously good scheming on the offense, Reese. I mean, just an unbelievable job of getting your guy wide open.
And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Indiana has the ball back, and the Hoosier offense comes out ready to go. They find themselves in a pretty deep hole here, but and the pressure was too much. They get him at the 15.
We haven't even gotten to halftime yet. This offense has their hands full trying to keep this quarterback standing up straight. They've already given up multiple sacks. That's the biggest reason why they're trailing by as much as they are. They better go in at halftime and make some big-time adjustments.
That is just a sideline credit. Roll, catch, toe drag, everything you want. They've been overwhelmed so far in this first half, but if they could muster a score, maybe a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, and I know it's been a struggle. They've been struggling this whole game, but let's get something positive going into half.
And it's picked off. Didn't let him get loose on the return, but he'll take it as they have the ball at the 47.
And this is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
The Wake Forest offense returns to the field. To the air on first down. Excellent coverage and good use of the hands to knock it away.
This quarterback really is going to have to be aware in this game of trying to find lanes to throw into when he's throwing over the middle of the field, because this D-line does a great job getting their hands in the air.
Gets it out quickly. Good, solid pickup there. Now they can start to smell it with a first down at the 31.
Well, this offense has come out slinging the pill. They are throwing it. They are trying to be aggressive. We're only in the second quarter, guys. Already, this guy has over 200 yards passing.
They'll throw it on first down. Spits it out to the back. Firing to the right, complete. He's there to make the stop, but not before he sets up this offense first and goal from the 7.
I'll tell you, this quarterback has just been in a great rhythm all game long. With that last completion, he's now over 300 yards passing.
A first down run on the doorstep. And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Demon Deacons. Precision blocking up front. Created the open lane, and the running back followed it beautifully.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to follow an offensive line that makes those holes and just gives you a caravan all the way to the end zone. What an unbelievable job blocking up front.
And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Guys, let's get you up to speed on what's going down in this fun college football game today. Iowa State needs to pick up the pace, but this puppy is far from over. And with that crowd there in Ames behind them, I'm kind of banking on a comeback. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Kansas State.
He's going to pass.
We've got our eye on this one and everything else going on throughout the day. Guys,
thanks for the update on that one. Kevin, let us know when it goes final. After the misfire, it's second down. He's looking to throw. Unloads to the wideout. And he throws another interception. His third one of the night.
Well, the defense is feeling it now, right? 2 picks in 2 straight drives. Their guys have been all over the field making plays when the ball's in the air. D coordinator's got to love that.
Throws to the wideout. He caught it. Takes it to the house. Touchdown, Wake.
Such a nice job by the wide receiver there on the corner route. He did a nice job off of the stem, not telegraphing where he was going. The defender had no idea, and when he broke to the corner, he created a little bit of separation. There was an accurate throw. He made the catch and then took it into the end zone.
They got the late touchdown on the board, now about to kick it away and hoping the defense can keep them from answering. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Indiana sends the offense onto the field. Now you find out just how much of a gunslinger you are. Will you roll the dice here late in the half, Dave?
And you know the defense is going to be really, really conservative, so I think it's an opportunity to be able to take a shot, see how much of a chunk you can get before then you decide really, Jesse, how you want to finish the half.
Just can't turn it over and throw a pick if you're the quarterback here. You've got to be so smart. You're going to be aggressive with your decision.
Nice job by the running back catching the football and understanding where the first down marker was. I got to go get that first down. Did a nice job of it.
Fires to the wideout. And that makes 5 interceptions in this one. The nightmare is alive.
Most defenses are lucky if you have 1 good covering corner. Fewer are lucky if you have 2. They've got 3 DBs, 3 corners that can play at the same time in their nickel package that they feel can go mano-a-mano with anyone in the country. And you saw it on that last play coming away with the pick.
Going up top on first down. It's complete. He'll work his way down to the 28. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. Running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. He'll come out throwing on first down. He'll take a shot. Ball into the end zone, and it's intercepted.
And that's the advantage right there of having your dime personnel on the field. You've got an extra DB. You've got an extra guy out there who's really good at covering. So for quarterbacks, you've got to be so good and precise with these passes because they've got speed in the back end. They're able to come away with the pick.
He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Thanks, fellas. Looks like we've got a terrific atmosphere there in Bloomington. Toughest job inside that stadium right now might just be the scoreboard operator after all those first downs and touchdowns. Big plays have defined this one, thanks thanks to two of the best receiving core in all of college football. Let's see if these defenses can adjust and make the necessary chess moves.
On the move from inside his 5. Finds just enough space to cross the 25. Let's mark it at the 27-yard line. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Indiana has the ball back, and the Hoosier offense comes out ready to go. Nothing went right in that first half, and the first order of business here. Try not to be embarrassed any further.
But the comeback is possible. Remember 2006, Michigan State down 35 to Northwestern at halftime? They somehow came back and won the game. But it all starts on one play, and that has to happen here on this first drive of the offense.
Yeah, the first possession, because your possessions, you're only going to get so many possessions, and you got to score on every single one of them. Offense, defense.
And the pressure gets to him. Down goes the quarterback.
This defense has the ability to get pressure on the QB from the edge. And I don't necessarily mean from defensive ends, but from the outside linebackers. These guys get in their sprinter stances, and they come off the ball. That outside line.
Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. And the defense gets loose.
Now that this offense has done well, they're behind huge, and they got no shot if they can't somehow find a way to protect their quarterback.
And the returner is stopped. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the offense. One of the most valuable things a quarterback can have, David, short-term memory. Just forget that last pick.
You're dang right. Clear the mechanism. It's over. Move it behind you. Some players can't do that real well, and it leads to more mistakes, Jesse. You got to just forget about it and move on.
And I think the coaching staff can help him too, David. I think he can get the running game going here and also give him some easy throws.
They built this offense around finding mismatches and just get the ball to the back and let him do his thing.
Yeah, it didn't have to be long down the field. Like it threw it right near the line of scrimmage, but you know I got a guy, when he gets in space, he can make big plays happen. Nice decision by the QB.
This quarterback right now is in a groove, and he's doing a nice job in pre-snap. He's reading the coverage, and he's getting an idea of where he wants to go with the football. That's why the ball's coming out of his hands so quickly, and that's why he seems like he's in a great rhythm right now.
The Demon Deacons will have it 1st and 10. The RPO, fire complete to the left. Touchdown, Demon Deacs! And the pummeling has started.
How about the day for this young fella? That's a 4-game stretch. Nope, 4 touchdowns in 1 game. He has been the focal point of this offense, and he has not disappointed.
Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive.
Indiana, 14.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Indiana sends the offense onto the field. The last time we saw this offense, we had to look quick. It was a 3-and-out, Jesse.
They just had no rhythm in that last drive. So someone's going to have to step up and make a play, David, and get this thing going.
Yeah, let's find some juice. Find your guy. Find those plays that you know you can run inside out, forward, backwards. Get some first downs. Get some positive momentum.
He finds his man. And a good job of coverage by that defense. Just a short pickup.
I like the decision by the quarterback here. Just get the ball out of your hands. Get it to your playmaker. A lot of times he'll dance and make even bigger plays than he did here, but it was still a positive game.
Wide receiver shows motion. He's going to pass on 2nd down. He'll try to do it himself. Nifty little scamper on this one. Enough for the 1st down, and he slides in safely.
He does a good job of dropping back, going through his progressions. Nothing there. What do? Go get some yardage. Make it positive. Don't sit back in the pocket and force something into a bad situation or take a sack. Great job making something out of nothing.
Looking to move it through the air. And he drops it. Just took his eye off of it in the last minute.
Well, I don't know if the big fella got freaked out because he was so wide open on that play, but that is a catch he has got to make for his quarterback.
after the incompletion. Back to the passing game. Buys a little extra time. At the 45, on its way. Picks up the first down and gets down to avoid contact.
This guy just he's just got so much electricity. He just pulls it down and chews up yards like it's nothing. That's a quarterback. A quarterback doing that to your defense.
He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
Second down coming up.
Hit a little speed bump on this drive. It's 2nd and 12. Looking for room. It's Spears. A strong tackle and wrap up from the junior.
He's tackled at the 36.
Now facing a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. And here's the 5th interception by this quarterback. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the picks.
Not all guys have the ability to break on the football, go make a play, and catch it. You play defense for a reason. A lot of wide receivers are the ones that do most of the catching. Great job by the defense securing the INT.
On the nasty move, and now he's got room. And there was lots of space as he gets it to the 39-yard line. Clock ticks across the 4-minute mark here in the 3rd. Might as well run him until they stop him. He's got it again.
It's just so nice to know you can start off on first down with positive plays. Positive yards, hand the football off, set up a good second down.
Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. And it'll be incomplete. This defense is physical in pass deep.
Well, it's a nice job by the quarterback getting the ball out of his hands quickly on that RPO. He saw something he liked, just not on the same page with his receiver.
And they'll miss the connection here on 3rd down.
Really nice job by the defense. The offense has the whole playbook open to him on 3rd and short. They try to slip in the screen. Did not fool the defense at all. Nice stop by the defense.
They're throwing for it on 4th down. Quickly complete. And he's knocked down, but not before moving the chains. Sometimes we don't give enough credit to a receiver knowing exactly where he needs to be on the field, and they pick up the first down there.
Yeah, and you've got to give the receiver credit, obviously knowing where that is, but the defender needs to know where it is too. Where is he trying to get? That ball's going to come out quick. He didn't really understand where the sticks were, and because of that, he gives up the first down. Need to just be a little bit more aware as a defensive guy.
Right back to the air on 2nd and 10. Finds his man. It's Wicks. And into the end zone. They'll finally put the brakes on him at the 3. A big throw, catch and run on that one.
Big play in the passing game there, and I like the receiver gearing down in the zone. Did a nice job finding the soft spot on defense between the defenders, giving the quarterback an easy target to throw to complete that throw.
Brought down at the 1-yard line.
Looking for just 1 more yard. It's 2nd and goal. Tries again to get it in. Touchdown, Wake Forest. And the beatdown has ensued. I mean, the way this team has dominated this game, impressive to say the least.
And it's cool now because you're kicking the credit of them so bad, you start to put the backups in, and all them get to get juice and get to get some playing time, get some field goal. On the other side, well, they're just taking it right to the face.
On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Indiana has the ball back, and the Hoosier offense comes out ready to go. Boy, they had that last drive moving a little bit, David, but then the mistake just crushed them.
Yeah, and those mistakes are...
It's a fumble. Oh, it looks as if the defense got it. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
Man, that's a big mistake. And listen, I'm still going to force feed my playmakers. If I'm that quarterback, I'm that OC, I'm walking over to that guy and be like, listen, it's okay. It's a little bit of a mistake. We're still going to find ways to get you the rock. You're too important to this team not to give you the football.
Got a man. It's Wicks. They get him down, but this offense is set up first and goal. That was a nice pickup, running the drag route and finding that quiet, soft spot in the zone.
Yeah, drag routes not only work against man coverage, they work against zone too. If you can find the soft spot and the quarterback gets it to him early, he can turn upfield, and you saw that right there.
He steps and powers and works his way, and they finally get him down at the 2. And after that first down gasher, they're close to the end zone. Second and goal coming. Tries again to get it in. Touchdown, Wake Forest. And the route is on.
This defense is going to have to do a better job being physical. That's 2 rushing touchdowns they've now allowed. They have got to be better close to the line of scrimmage.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
2 very different emotions inside the locker rooms of these teams who did battle today. South Carolina somehow, some way, found a way there in Columbia and picked up a much-needed victory. It wasn't a masterpiece, but let's be honest, it wasn't a loss either. The circle of life in college football, where one team moves on feeling like kings and the other heads home licking its wounds.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there.
Small game, I know, but again, the defense knows he's going to run the football. He's willing to run the football, not just drop back and pass, make him honor the run game. You got to do a lot of this.
Unloads to the wideout. Finds a man in the middle. Works his way to the 41, and that is plenty to give him a first down. A new set of downs after the completion. Trying to find his man on first down. Snagged in the middle. It's Jackson. Excellent job working through the air. They're finding a hole in that defense and picking up a first down. The Hoosiers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Defense in press coverage. They'll give it to the back. Nice move to keep running. What a nifty run there to pick up the first down. Clock winds inside, a minute to play here in the third. Linebackers moving, trying to confuse the quarterback. They'll try the run. They're trying to send a message with this running game. He stopped after a pickup of 4 to the 33. After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. One back in the backfield, and they'll give it to him. They finally make the stop with the big run. There's plenty to move those sticks for the first down.
Well, on offense, you've got to love the way your offensive line is playing in this game. They're getting tremendous movement up front, climbing into second level, and really giving these backs and ball carriers a lot.
And with a hallelujah land. Touchdown, Hoosiers! So much about the passing game is about timing, execution, communication, and these two, that's a virtual textbook there.
And no doubt about it. And the receiver making plays for his quarterback, being dependable, running the route to the right depth consistently. Does a great job running his route. Great result because of it.
And the extra point is good. So a drive there of 82 yards, and the score comes on a 17-yard throw for the touchdown. The kickoff team out there and ready to go. From inside his own 10, let's see what he gets. Probably needed to pick up an extra block or 2, but as it is, he'll be stopped at the 28. Line gets set, first down. Quarterback touch pass on the jet sweep. He's there to make the stop, and they threw it in reverse, losing yardage on that play. We've reached the end of the quarter, and Wake Forest has the lead. This has been a complete obliteration so far, as the third quarter stats will show you. Second down now as they're ready to go back to work. The play-action fake. And his first pass is incomplete. It's tough to come in and fire one early.
The offensive line has got to give him at least a little bit of time to survey the field. He had no chance that time, getting hit almost immediately after he got the ball.
Probably the toughest call on the play sheet. Third and long. Ball's at the 25. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. Fourth down coming up. And the Demon Deacons will try to pin them back with the punt. First run of the day is off. He was called on 3 times in that victory last week. Surprisingly makes a fair catch just outside the 40-yard line. Indiana sends the offense onto the field. They'll open this drive from their own 42-yard line. They're going to open this drive with a pass. Fires to the tight end. They make the stop after the catch, and still some work to do to pick up that first down.
I'll tell you, when you got a tight end like this, it makes it a lot easier calling pass plays on first down, even if the defense is in zone coverage. He did a really good job there, working his leverage, finding the soft spot, and making it an easy completion.
There to make the tackle, but the big throw is good enough to give them a first down.
I don't know if that was a bust defensively, but there was nobody in the middle of the field that time, making it way too easy for the offense to pick up a chunk play in the middle.
And it just squirted through his hands. He wanted to take off and got too anxious.
Well, this guy must feel like he's run into a buzzsaw in this game. He has been under duress all game long, and that's a big reason why he's thrown multiple interceptions in the game, too. Nothing coming easy to him. It's hard to see the field when your internal clock is going off so fast because of the pressure of this defense, and that's why they find themselves down by so much here in the fourth.
Third and short from the 26. Pretty easy field goal range, but they'd love to pick up the first. They'll try to run for it. They've got it just outside the red zone. They'll move the chains. It's at the 21.
And that's all you want, right? You want that first down. Understand the situation. Understand I got to get north and south, get a first down, get a new set of downs.
And the Hoosiers are on the move. They're getting this guy lathered up. They'll give him maybe one on the play. It's down to the 20. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. He's looking to throw. Right down the middle. A strike downfield. And the catch and run into the end zone. Touchdown, Indiana!
And this has been a rough day for this offense, and finally some good things to happen. Build some momentum maybe for the future. You know, that's the way the coaches spin it when you're getting beat up and you're getting destroyed. Like, let's find something for the future. Let's keep fighting. Let's keep working. This team's done that. Put some points on the board, so it's not all bad.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the Deacon offense. They'll have another opportunity to extend this lead after punting last time, David.
And it's important to put that punt behind you. It's over. Let it go. To what you were doing that built this lead, Tom.
Yeah, and defense, obviously, they won a few downs that last drive, so we got to put them on their heels here. Maybe mix up a few personnel groupings and try to show them some pictures they haven't seen yet.
And they try the middle of this defense, and that is not happening. Now on 3rd and 10, if they can move the chains here, maybe they can get this drive started. From the gun, wants to pass. Throws to the wideout. It's caught. And they'll finally catch up to him, but not before a big chunk of yardage is picked up. The Demon Deacons will snap it on 1st and 10. He wants to throw. He's got his man. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
And I love when my quarterback sees zone and knows exactly where to go with the football. Sees the wide receiver running the drag route, knows when to throw it, pulls the trigger for the easy completion.
On 2nd down, he'll fire. And he can't escape, and down he goes.
Well, that defender just was better in his one-on-one on the pass rush. He does a great job getting the offensive lineman to get to the QB.
They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. Got his man on the right. Plenty of room on that play, and they find their way to the 36. And another big play by this offense, and if they are playing, not thinking about the scoreboard at all, there's evidence of it right there.
Hey, if there's time on the clock, as a defense, stop us. Because we're not stopping ourselves. We're going to continue being aggressive. We're going to continue trying to score points. That's the aggressive nature of this football team.
They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
You see all this movement in football now, all the stemming, the defensive line, they're sliding right before the snap, creating confusion for the offensive line. Then they're moving back and stunting. Really good job by the defense. Continue to move, continue to stunt, continue to get in the backfield and make this life hard on this running back.
And just a short, safe pass play, they pick up a few.
And that's kind of a lot of today's running game, right? Spit the ball out quick, get it to your playmakers in space, get positive yards. It's instead of running the ball a couple yards up the middle, now you just spit it out wide, and a lot of times if you break a few tackles, it could be even bigger.
Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42.
And a great job by the defense, dropping in zone coverage, all eyes on the quarterback, taking away the options, and then finally the pass rush gets home, gets him on the ground.
This is hardly a surprise after converting their first 2 4th down attempts. They'll try it again. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Gets drilled as he releases it, and the ball just trickles to the ground.
This is so Jesse Palmer. Exactly what he would do. Continue to put the foot on the accelerator, try to rub it in.
He lofts one down the sideline. And this is dropped. Incomplete pass. He had a huge gain in his fingers, and he couldn't hold on. One more play to pad the stats. On 2nd down, he'll try to make the connection this time. He's taking the deep shot. A sensational grab down the field there as they try to at least put a positive spin on the end of this game. After not really playing their best earlier this season, people said, this team is bad. Now they won 3 in a row. This team is good. People are fickle.
Yeah, and we're probably the ones who were saying that a little bit, Reese, because they were struggling. It didn't look like they knew who they were, and they didn't have the momentum going. But now they've definitely got it together, Jesse, and they look like a different team.
They sure do, David. We know teams get better or they get worse over the course of a season. This team right now, completely different. Almost the polar opposite than what we saw earlier this year. And I'll tell you, look at their schedule and who they've got left. Those teams better be careful. This team is coming for it.
That's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, our entire broadcast team, I'm Reese Davis. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.